right, folks. Holy crap. It is wet. I am Widget Wet Walls. Needcoffee.com. Holy crap. And we're here for another Wayhomer review. And filling up some sandbags. I just left the theater. And we're here to talk about another movie. Because I can't stop myself. So today's pick is Daybreakers. Now, Daybreakers. When I saw the trailers for this thing, I was actually looking forward to it because, I mean, if you think about the cast, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Sam Neill, it had a lot of potential to be really cool. And here's the long and short of it. It's actually really cool. Premise is, it's kind of a science fiction bent to it. It's the near future. There's been some kind of outbreak of vampirism that has turned the majority of the population, well, the vast majority of the population, into vampires, very Matheson-esque. The difference is that this actually plays out the question of, well, then what? So the majority of the life forms or unlife forms or undead forms or whatever the hell it is on the planet are vampires. Where the hell does all the blood come from? So we join them in the midst of a blood crisis, and Ethan Hawke plays a blood specialist who's working for one of the vampire corporations that is trying to come up with a cure. That's pretty much the synopsis. So I won't reveal all the stuff that goes along with it because I hate it when people do that. So, but they need blood, as you might imagine. Now, this is a perfect example of how to build a world. We talked recently about Avatar and James Cameron and how he went to great lengths to create a world in which he could set the film. And it was a great example of world building. This is a good example of world building on a budget, because all you need are some newscasts about crises in other worlds and some advertisements over here about specific things and people making mention of things to get the experience that the whole world is in the same shape. You don't need a big budget to do it. And they actually did it in a way that the exposition of let me explain to you what the world is like, in what situation the vampires are in, what situation the humans are in a very non-annoying way. The best example of this, and I'm not giving anything away, but I want you to watch for it if you see the film. After the opening credits, where they've done a lot of setup, showing you the world and showing you some things, you see some text come up on the screen. And my initial thought was, okay, this is the lead-in text that is in a lot of films, you know, like at the beginning of Highlander, like at the beginning, like lots of different films. Here is some exposition on the screen so that we can tell you what the situation is. That shows up, and it turns out to be closed captioning on a newscast of two characters discussing the situation, which I thought was like, well, that's really clever. So the fact that I knew I was in the hands of some clever filmmakers made me very happy and gave me a good, warm, fuzzy feeling going into the film. The vampire effects are all very cool, of all kinds. Obviously, they were handled by Weta, so you know they're going to be good. Ethan Hawke is good. Willem Dafoe is kind of awesome. His character, I'll go ahead and tell you since we're on IMDb, his character's name is Elvis. So how awesome is that? And Sam Neill is in full-on, I am pretty darn evil mode. And you know Sam Neill, so he can pull that off quite well. He's a great actor, don't get me wrong. He's got a lot of range, but he's so good at being just pure freaking evil. So, but no, I thought the film was quite good. It reminded me a lot of, first of all, it's a perfect antidote to people who are, you know, sick of sparkly vampires, because there's a lot of non-sparkly going on, if you know what I mean. The second thing is, it reminds me a lot, just in the feel of like Near Dark, which of course to vampire fans is near and dear to a lot of our hearts, because it's just such a great film This is a pretty great film, I think. It like Near Dark, I think could stand up to multiple viewings. It's got an original concept of how it handles the whole vampire thing and how it progresses, how it evolves, which I thought was pretty novel. I'm sure it's probably been done somewhere. I haven't seen it done in film before, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I know it's been out for a couple of weeks. If you can still catch it, if you're a vampire fan, and I'm watching the road because there's like huge plumes of water coming up on either side of things. If you are a vampire fan, I've parted the Red Sea. Then it might be worth catching this at like a matinee or dollar theater. Definitely worth seeing on the big screen for the vampire fan. Everyone else, I think you'll be okay with a rental, but I think it's worth seeing because I think it was enjoyable. It had a lot of tension and it had a lot of moments that I just didn't see coming that I was like, oh shit. So that's, you know, kind of hard to do when you've seen as many movies as I have and a lot of you have. It's just kind of hard to surprise us, and so there were some good surprises in it. So I would say Daybreakers, definitely worth checking out. So, oh good, we're at a red light. So I think that's pretty much the long and short of it, my initial response to the film. So yeah. So hopefully if once we get into the rowboat and get to safety, we'll be back for more of these Wayhomers. So please keep us informed on your thoughts on things. Feel free to comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, or comment on the site at needcoffee.com, and we'll see you next time. And the light's going to turn green, so I got to go row some more. See you guys. Bye.